Good day, everybody. It is currently the 14th, going into the 15th of October, 2012. We're continuing to watch Typhoon Prapiroon just towards the southeast of Okinawa. Currently, winds out of this storm system are at about 138, gusting up to 185 kilometers an hour. So a very still, strong, and potent storm system. But good news, it is starting to weaken out. You can see that eye getting bigger and bigger near the center of circulation. So thus, that's indicating some sort of a weakening. But also, we have our newest tropical depression just towards the northwest of Guam. Still unnamed at this time. JTWC calling it TD23W. Same with the Guam National Weather Service out of the Marianas there. But also, some severe weather is firing up across portions of northern Japan today. Actually, the strongest winds in Japan have been recorded up in Hokkaido, where over 100-kilometer-per-hour winds have been seen in some areas due to some severe thunderstorms. But first and foremost, let's zoom in when everybody's been tuning in to watch. Here is our Typhoon Prapiroon lingering just off the Okinawa coastline here today. And the storm system, once again, is starting to weaken. It was upwards of about a solid Category 3 about 3 days ago. Now down to a Category 1 typhoon equivalent of a hurricane. Still moving off here towards the north. We do have the southern Japanese islands right in here, but also the Daito Islands just towards the east of Okinawa. Seeing some strong winds here today. Actually, in Okinawa, winds recorded already gusting up to 76 kilometers per hour, despite the fact the storm system is approximately 250 kilometers to the southeast of Okinawa, but nonetheless, you are still seeing some very strong gradient-induced winds gusting up at times across portions of Okinawa and also off here towards the north. So thus, the winds are still a major factor, but also the heavy rainfall. Now, this is taken from some satellite imagery estimated over the past 24 hours. You can see some of this very intense and heavy rain around that center of circulation, even some other banding off here towards the northeast. That's due more to a westerly system pushing through here, but nonetheless bringing some rain showers across the ocean basins here. But good news, still most of it is offshore. You're not really seeing much of this precipitation in Okinawa today, but nonetheless, going through the early part of next week, as the storm system does continue to creep off towards the north, expect all of that rainfall to start to push with it. Now, where is it going to be going? Well, right now, moving slowly off towards the northwest. Taking a look at this surface analysis, you can see that we do have a high pressure off here just towards the east of Honshu, another one over eastern China, and these two are going to play a major role in where the storm system goes. As this stationary boundary off here starts to retreat towards the east, and likely is going to want to follow into this gap just off here towards the north, eventually working its way up there towards around Okinawa, but then it should start to take a sharp turn towards the east once it starts to encounter some stronger upper level winds, thus forcing it off in that direction. And JTWC here with their forecast track really kind of going more in line with that finally here today. The last several days they've actually been indicating this storm to track off here towards the northeast, then basically shooting off there towards the northeast, tracking towards the northwest, then turning northeast, excuse me. But now they're starting to show that they do expect it to move a little bit closer towards Okinawa here, and then eventually skirt off there towards the northeast, possibly bringing some heavy rain showers around Tokyo. And this is agreeing more up with JMA, but nonetheless, it's still a very large discrepancy. Let's take a look at what their forecast track is on the storm system, as they expect it to actually go basically due west into a Monday, then Tuesday, and Wednesday being just towards the south of Naha here, relatively close, within about 50 kilometers. So, given this track by midweek, actually Okinawa very well could be seeing some destructive force winds above 50 knots in some areas here. Even typhoon strength winds very well could be possible, as they expect it to still maintain this typhoon intensity. Now, my personal thoughts, given what I've seen so far, I do, once again, this is the same thoughts I actually had yesterday, expected to track off here towards the north, eventually nearing Okinawa before turning towards the northeast. But my cone of air, well, I think that it would more or less be like this and off there. I mean, it's just a very slow-moving storm system, and that is an exceptionally large cone of air. But just take a look at JMA. They actually have theirs clear off into the East China Sea and down here towards the south on the 5-day outlook. So I guess with that said, the storm system still is moving very slowly. We have seen this track wobble quite significantly. After we scroll down here just a little bit, you can just see some of the previous track here moving off there towards the northwest, just continuing to swing back and forth. Now, JMA expecting it to turn towards the west, I would not rule it out. I also would not rule out it moving off here towards the north, continuing to affect the Daito Islands. So many people are still going to be seeing the effects of the storm system. But just to add to the confusion of the disconnect of the different agencies, just take a look at the model outlook, and you do have a few of these ones, including the European model, moving the storm off basically due west, similar to what JMA is saying, and turning towards the northeast. And JTWC going east of that track. Big thing, the difference with these two tracks is one stays quite away from Okinawa, thus you might see some light to gusty winds, maybe nearing up to about 100 kilometers per hour, so there is some damage potential, but it's not very significant. But if more goes towards the JMA track, then I would suggest people actually start taking proper precautions and to avoid electricity going out or anything loose debris flying around and etc. Now, good news, once again, we still got about 3 to 4 days to watch this, but I would definitely recommend, if you already do not for some reason have all the proper preparations in place, despite the fact that you have seen 3 typhoons so far this year run across Okinawa, but then those precautions would best be made now, just in case the storm does start to near your location. We are also watching our tropical depression. You can see just here towards the northwest of Guam, moving off there towards the northeast. Let's zoom in on this storm system and see where it's going to be going next, according to the Japan Meteorological Agency. And I guess the good news with this one, well, it's moving off there towards the north-northwest at this time, expected to continue to remain on the projection. Very well could affect some of the Osagara Islands, but the good news, it does look like it's going to remain away from most land masses. About 3,000 people live on these islands out here, including Iwilto, so you're definitely going to be seeing some gusty winds, but already have been seeing storms at this magnitude so far this year, so it shouldn't be anything too significant to some of the residents out here. But really the driving factor with this storm system will be this troughing off here towards the north. It very well should grab it, and it's going to hit that trough and then just shoot off there towards the northeast. So really not expecting this one, once again, to impact too many land areas, but we're definitely still going to be watching it very closely, at least for the time being. Still some marine warnings up across portions of the Marianas. Continuing to see some heavy rain showers. Good news is that it is developing and starting to move away. You have been seeing actually some very intense rains for nearly a week now across Guam, as that area of convection, which is now the tropical depression, continue to just sit there and basically persist. So I guess most people are very more or less happy that it has gained this center of circulation, as shown here on the ASCAT imagery, and finally developed and finally started to move off there towards the north. So nonetheless, you still might see some gusty winds across much of the Marianas, including Guam, but improving conditions are definitely going to be on the way. But that is all for right now, everybody. Thanks again for watching here at westernpacificweather.com. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, as always, please post them into the comment box below. Also, another fun note into China. Due to the heavy rains recently, the Changxi Lake has actually met its largest recorded ever size. I do think that's a very interesting note, so if you are watching this at the website, please do check down below. I'll be putting the video from NHK World into the article down below. But one more reminder as well, we are not a WMO organization at all, to say the least, but we are still trying to share our thoughts and views here. Please continue to check in with the Japan Meteorological Agency if you are anywhere here in Japan, the other official agency coming out of the southern Japanese islands and basically the entire western Pacific, but also continue to check in with the Guam National Weather Service if you are there in Guam and you're worried about that tropical depression that's now moving away. But that is really all. Thanks again for watching. Please stay safe out there, and I will leave you with this video, some volcano footage actually shot from James Reynolds some time ago, but nonetheless, it's very interesting, and if you want to comment on it, please post that in the comment box, but let me know what you actually find more extreme. Is it volcanoes or typhoons? So thanks for watching, though. Have a great day.